In this edition of GSN in Conversation, we talk with Kenzo Surget, Belmopan FC goalkeeper. Kenzo, is that what you would like me to call you?
Yes, Kenzo is perfect. Yeah.
All right. I'm Austin. Thank you for coming on here, GSN, doing this interview. I wanted to start off by just saying, could you introduce yourself to the people watching and the fans? And you were born in France, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So, could you just kind of walk through briefly the journey of how you came from France and now you're playing in Belize? Can you just kind of how your career has went to this point to be able to go from France to Belize?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, thank you very much for your invitation. I'm really happy to do this interview. So yeah, my name is Kenzo Surget. I'm 18 years old. I'm from France, and I'm currently the goalkeeper in Belmopan FC. So I start playing football when I was young in France. I start in the team of my city. I played some years, and after that, when I was 14, I played in team in Spain near Barcelona. So with this, I had the chance to play against Girona, Espanyol Barcelona, and all of other professional team. And after that, I come back to France when I was 16 to play in the fifth division. And then I moved to the United States where I was an US student in college. And after that, I play in UPSL with United Sports FC. And now I'm very happy to play in the Premier League of Belize with Belmopan FC.
Nice. And so, what was United Sports Soccer role in this, and how did they find you? Because I know, they're very proud of signing you, such a great young talent. What role did they play in discovering you and signing you in that whole process to Belmopan FC?
Okay, so as I told you, I was in college and they saw me when I played with my college. And then I played some games with them. And Wachel, the owner of United Sport FC, saw me and she became my agent and she worked in Belmopan FC too. So she wanted to give me a trial in Belmopan. So I did the trial and it was very good and now I'm playing here.
Nice, congratulations. And so my next question would be, what was the biggest difference? Because I know, like you said, France and Spain before this, and you had that European experience. What would you say the biggest difference was when you started playing in Belize? And did the experience in Europe help you? Playing here and being able to develop here, was it easier, or did that do you learn skills over there that you were able to take over here that maybe gave you an advantage?
Yeah, I think because the level in Europe is very high, I think. And I was surprised when I come in Belize because the level is very good here and I didn't know that. So I was surprised and yeah, I think the big difference is about the like tactically,
Yes.
but I think technically is the level here is very good too. But yeah, in Europe is different because there are a lot of people and so yeah, that's different. But yeah, the level here is good and yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good young players. I was just wondering
Mm.
about the tactics. I mean, I'm sure they're different, and I was just wondering if that gave you an edge. Um, so on the field we talked about what was the difference, but what like kind of culturally or maybe like team chemistry, locker room type of thing, what was the difference between where you had played in Europe and when you are now in Belize? What has been the biggest kind of personal thing to you that's been different or challenging in that way, like maybe culturally or things like that in the locker room?
It's a good questions. I think uh, there's no really big difference, but in Europe sometimes we did some week like we go out and in other city to like to get a better chemistry in the group.
Hmm.
And in Belize we didn't do that at the moment, but I think in the locker room is the same. there is no big difference.
Okay, so would you say like so you're saying basically there's not as much like maybe like chemistry, like team bonding type of chemistry? Is that what you're saying? Like
Yeah.
so there's
Mhm.
just not as much emphasis put on that. So what would you say? Obviously playing in Belize, and you're probably going to be, a really big star here, right? And you already are. What kind of recognition do you get from like the French, national team or U20 team? Playing in Belize, and I mean, I'm sure they're watching you, and how do they value that you playing in the Premier League of Belize?
Sorry, I don't understand. What do you mean?
Basically, like, so do you play currently like on the U20 national team for France?
No, never, not yet.
So do you think that the Premier League of Belize will give you the maybe attention by some of the
Mm.
scouts or whoever on that U20 French team to get you help you get selected?
Okay, I see. It's a good question. I don't know very well, but I think that all the players in under 20 in France are already signed their first professional contract in some big team like Paris, Monaco,
I see. I
etc.
see.
So I think it's difficult to go in national team in France because there is a lot of talent.
I
That's
understand.
very difficult. So yeah, but I think being here in Belize, it's a very good opportunity because they can see me, and now I'm professional. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a different consideration. But to be in national team in France is very difficult.
I understand. And so but it does give you that exposure, right? And helps you develop. I mean, I think it's a great place for players to develop personally. That's why we cover Belize. So my next question would be what is like a target league or maybe team or even just country that you are trying to play for or on after the Premier League of Belize? Like
Mhm.
once you develop here, where are you trying to transfer to, or things like that, just a general like league or goal.
Okay, I see. Yeah. So yeah, my goal is to maybe come back in Europe one day to play in the five better league in the world. So maybe Premier League or League One in France or Liga in Spain, maybe. But yeah, it's I think my goal. Yeah.
Nice. And so what would be what's kind of your personal like training routine and with the team, and how is that different than when you did play in Europe? Like how is the training schedules different, or is it different?
It's not really different because here we have training every day, and sometimes I like to go to the gym the morning because we have training the evening, so I got time to go to the gym the morning. There is no difference between Europe and here because we train every day in Europe and Belize too. So yeah, that's the
Oh,
same.
okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. I was curious because nobody's really had that perspective that I've talked to. That you have. It's a unique perspective being from France and playing in France and Spain and so
Mhm.
on. My next question would be, the players. You've already talked about the chemistry with the team and things like that. But how do you view, the young players that are promising and coming up and like, through the academies and things like that? Where do you see the whole league going, and where do you see them taking the Premier League of Belize, in the coming years? And you'll be part of that, of course.
Mm, okay. Yeah, I think in the league there is a lot of talent. As I told you, I was surprised because there are a lot of very good players, and I think in the 3 years coming, the league will very great. Um, it's a good league because there is a lot of people who watch the game, and I saw that the people really want to grow up the league, like you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I think in the few years it will be very good.
Yeah, and I think the community will really, they're willing to get behind this and they want to see this grow and support,
Mhm.
young players like yourself and see you go and be able to play in like the top five leagues, and in, Premier League, things like that. Um, in Europe. Yeah, that's just a short, interview. I just want to get your perspective, because you just signed with Belmopan FC recently. And, they don't get necessarily in the Premier League of Belize a lot of talent from Europe necessarily. Now there's going to be more, I think,
Mhm.
especially with, how well you're performing and will continue to perform. I'm sure there'll be more, people like you. Coming over here, and I appreciate what you're doing, taking that opportunity to go play in Belize and help grow yourself and grow the sport in Belize. So, I do appreciate you, doing that and, your outlook on the sport in Belize.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much, and it was very great. And like, what's the goal for the league in 3 years that are coming, if you
The
know?
the goal for the league. I
Yeah.
mean, as the perspective of, because GSN, we do media and cover it. And from the people I've talked to, like even Michael Collins, president of Belmopan FC, and people like that. I think they are trying to get more talent from internationally and
Mhm.
obviously Europe, but also they specifically said like Mexico and the United States. Bring them here, develop them, and build the sport in the process, build the league. They think it's going to double or triple in size of the league in the next few years. And as more people start to be able to watch it, and then once these players they develop them, then they can send them to the MLS, or Europe,
Okay.
and give them better opportunities for their career. So everybody kind of wins, and it grows the sport in the process. So I think that's where it's heading in the next few years, personally.
Okay, great. Yeah, I can't wait to see the league in the next years.
Me too. I can't wait, and I hope that it gets there and gets bigger than anybody even
Mhm.
can imagine, and the players can get opportunities they never even thought possible. Even
Yeah, of course.
not only international players coming in, but as well as local players and things like that.
Mhm.
So, I appreciate you coming on here, doing this interview, and sharing your insight.
Thank you very much for this interview,
Thank you.
and see you soon.
Yep. See you. Thank you, Kenzo. Appreciate it.